This tutorial is for 2nd grade, Module 2, Lesson 4. In Lesson 4, we introduced the meter stick. Prior to this, we've been working with the centimeter ruler. So here I have a centimeter ruler, and below it, I have a meter stick. One meter is the same length as 100 centimeters. The purpose of the lesson is to show the students that sometimes it's more appropriate to use a meter stick when you're measuring an object than a centimeter ruler. Obviously, if you have a very large object or you're measuring the distance across a room or a greater distance, it would be more efficient to use a meter stick rather than a centimeter ruler. So that's what we're going to look at in this lesson. The students will start the lesson by actually measuring various objects in the classroom using a centimeter ruler and then measuring objects in the classroom using a meter stick. The next question says to list 5 things in your house that you would measure with a meter stick instead of a ruler. So again, you'd probably use the meter stick to measure larger objects. For example, you could measure the height of a refrigerator using a meter stick, or you can measure the length of a living room, or maybe the length of a car. You could also measure the height of a bookshelf, or maybe you would measure the length of your kitchen counter. And why would we want to measure those 5 items using a meter stick or meter tape instead of a centimeter ruler? I would say that it is a lot faster using the meter stick because it is a bigger measurement tool than a centimeter ruler. The last question says the distance from the cafeteria to the gym is 14 meters. The distance from the cafeteria to the playground is double the distance. How many times would you need to use a meter stick to measure the distance from the cafeteria to the playground? So if the distance from the cafeteria to the gym is 14 meters, that means I would have to use the meter stick 14 times to measure that distance. Since the distance from the cafeteria to the playground is double that distance, then I would use that meter stick 28 times, because double 14, or 14 plus 14, equals 28. So I would use the meter stick 28 times to measure that distance.